Look at that. Look at that. We're live again. Oh, I love when that happens. Oh, yes, pressing the record button now. And just like that, with all those things, oh man, we're recording, so we better press all the buttons. Any second now. Any second now. Come on now, button. I pressed you. There you go. There you go. All right. And we are in business. Hello, 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 everybody. It's been so long. It's been too long, frankly, and I apologize for my absence, but things have been afoot. Some good, some bad, but you know what? What counts now is that we are here together, you, me, and story stuff. Today, as you can tell by the big, giant, ridiculous graphic that I threw up on Twitter earlier, I want to talk about outlining. I want to talk about how to organize your story. And, well, frankly, I want to start by telling you that outlining, I never really thought, when I got started, like way back in the day, right? I never really thought outlining would be the first battleground for story. That, oh my God, if if you outline, how dare you? What's wrong with you? And if you're, all the cool kids or all the freewheeling whatever, do what we want, how we want, when we want, people, the wild child side of things who just kind of make it up as they go along. I never thought this would be the fight, right? Like I never thought this would be the battle. I just, who thinks that's going to be the fight? Who thinks, it's not going to come down to, well, I think this genre is better than that genre. It's going to come down to whether or not you have notes. Like that's such a nerdy writer thing, isn't it? Like we are arguing over whether or not you use notes versus, you just sort of make it up. That's the fight. That's the fight. That's the thing that has prompted this whole kind of evening together. And first of all, I think it's ridiculous. I just want to make that like really, really super, super clear. It's ridiculous because you should be organizing your ideas rather than just making them up on the fly. And if you want to be taken seriously and you want to do well and you want to have a consistency and a continuity to not just one story, but multiple stories, because Lord knows how many of you are coming up to me going, oh my God, John, I'm going to write a series. I'm going to be a series author and it's going to, do all this stuff and cover all these things. Yeah, I'm sure you think you are. And in order to do that better, in order to succeed at the level you swear you want to and you're going to, you need to outline. If you're going to be serious about your work, if you're going to be serious about your work, you need to be serious about your prep. And if you want the readership to build and follow and develop, then you need to be serious about developing a story that can engage them. And while it might be great that you think you're just so clever and so intelligent, oh my God, I can just make this up. I don't need to write anything down. Or I only need to maybe write down one thing, but I ignore it entirely. That arrogance is very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. And it might be great and acceptable for you to do that in the very sort of shallow echo chambers you might live in terms of where you get your writing advice and your writing support. Like you might have 5 friends in a little Discord community or a little Facebook group that tell you it's just totally okay for you to just make it up. Oh my God, you're so creative. But that's different than when we're sitting there trying to get your book organized, when we're trying to tell a complete story that more people than just your 5 friends are going to like. People all across the globe, people all across loads of different strata of society and education and interest and readership and everything. The more people you're trying to reach effectively and the better you want to reach them, you better organize the hell out of this story. Like it's not a debatable point for me. If you're going to get real righteous about, oh my God, I'm a pantser, I probably am going to really struggle to work with you. First and foremost, because I tend to need to be disproven or be disabused of the notion that a pantser isn't really serious in the long run. Because anybody who's going to, balk that strongly about outlining, I just assume you're not in this for the long haul, because it's not that big a deal. I don't know why you'd say it was a big deal. It's just it's just an outline. Just write it down. Make some kind of roadmap for yourself. It doesn't need to be, this big giant master document. It doesn't need to be that perfect thing you had to write in class, in English class in high school in order to get it right. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it doesn't need to be those things. It just needs to be something. And your resistance to that, oh my God, I don't do that. No, I'm a pantser. That's how I have to write. All those things that you say are badges of honor, that you puff your chest out and you proudly demonstrate, I do this. This is what I'm a pantser. I don't write anything down. All those things that you say are great are really just excuses and signifiers that you're not really interested in moving forward in this in a productive way. Well, it inhibits my creativity. What you're saying there is if you had to write it down and make some notes, you couldn't be creative. So you are putting, you're talking about how you're free without one, but really you're saying that you can only be creative without one. You can't follow any kind of structure. The idea that enforcing structure, which this job is going to do for you, inhibits. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I have missed talking to you. These things are a blast. I was just saying, in fact, that if you're the sort of person who wants to tell everybody that, oh my God, no, I just make everything up. I can't have an outline or anything. Hello. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We are, of course, as per usual, streaming all across Twitch and YouTube right now. Tell them to pants the outline. I'm about to, Troy. I am about to tell them that they have to pants the outline. What I'm in the middle of telling them is that if you're going to, puff your chest out and crow all along the walk about how creative, I'm very anti-pants. Well, yeah, to some degree I'm anti-pants, but outlining and story creation is the one part where I am very pro-pants. I know that's really hard to kind of reconcile, where historically in every other context, I don't want pants. I want pants shed at the door. I want pants to be an afterthought. I'm only pro pants. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That means the world to me. So where do shorts fall in anti-pantsness? What a great question. Shorts don't count as pants. I'm wearing shorts right now. I wear shorts a great deal of the time. I'm pretty pro shorts, particularly gym shorts or athletic shorts. I'm honestly, you know what? I'm kind of an older guy, so I'm even down for a pair of jorts. The one thing I'm not, or Bermuda shorts I'm cool with. The thing I don't really like are those khaki, like, yuppie shorts where they kind of like just stopped mid-thigh. They were like 80s basketball shorts. Those I'm not a fan of. But in most cases, shorts are okay because shorts are called shorts. Shorts are not pants, even though shorts are technically short pants. But the thing I was talking about was that if you're going to claim that you can't be constrained in order to develop your story, what you're really saying is that you can't follow a system. You can't, you have to, like a child, be left free range and roaming, as opposed to doing this seriously and methodically and with some sense of structure. You're anti-structure if you're running away from the outline. Now, if you're about to tell me, but no, the outline just takes up too much time. That's why I don't make one. It just takes time and it distracts me from my story. Do you mean to suggest that your idea is so fleeting in your mind, that your idea is so erratic and so inconsistent that you couldn't recall it later? Wouldn't, in fact, writing it down save you the effort of having to remember what it was, because you will have written it down and you could point to your list and go, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. What's the third major sort of pillar in the pants versus plot argument? Well, pantsing, it's look, I don't know how to tell you this, but all those pros you idolize, have you noticed none of them pants? all those authors you want to be like, right? All those authors you say like, oh my God, I want to do like this. I want to do this. This person inspires me. I love this person's work. I love this. Did you ever notice that none of them have ever come out and been like, oh yeah, fuck outlines. I don't need outlines. Outlines are for losers. No, all of them have always been pro outline. Why do you think that is? What possible reason? Is it a conspiracy? Yes, author portraits, no author portraits show pants. That's not, okay. So we're going to take a digression over here to talk about author portraits for a minute. Look, author portraits used to be, and sometimes still are, especially when you get like a really... Stephen King does not pants. He totally plots. He might pants in the short term, but all roads lead to plot. All roads lead to making some kind of organizational map. If you think the Dark Tower series, for all the ways it permutates and twists and fractals, that dude didn't write something down, you may have missed something fundamental. The more complicated your story is, the more critical it becomes to keep track of whatever the hell you're saying. I don't care how much cocaine you do in the 80s, Richard Bachman. At some point, somebody's writing something down. But I want to talk about author. All roads lead to plot is good merch. You know what? I've got this. So what I've started doing is I've got this legal pad right here. All roads lead to plot. Now that my, I'm not sure what happened after the car accident. I know a lot of his practice changed post-car accident, but I'm not entirely certain. He might have changed the degree to which he does things, but I honestly think that once you start plotting, it's real hard to go back because it can be incredibly beneficial. I don't know. I'm willing to dig into that though. But for now, I do want to answer that point about author portraits before I get going here. So author portraits used to be this sort of very posed thing, this very sort of Sears portrait studio where like somebody's sitting in a chair with like a fake backdrop behind them and they're kind of like arms crossed with a tweed jacket and that kind of thing. Booty shorts with... Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm totally down for merch booty shorts. I can think of several people I'd like to see wearing my merch like that. Yeah, totally. Let's do it. Booty shorts. Can I do booty? Does Teespring do booty shorts? Have to file that away for later. That'll be a fun way to spend a few hours. Dear Teespring, can I make booty shorts? Like late 80s, early 90s style. Yes. Like late 80s, early 90s stuff where it was very posed. And they did like make sure to shoot seating. His quality declined. Yes, I would agree. That the car accident affected his quality. I think it honestly added some hesitation and some just general anxiety and stress to the process. I also think it was painful. Like the physical exertion of having to sit and write now that his body had been affected, I think that does play a part into it, and it got him up in his head. So yeah, I do think to some degree his quality, trailed off one way or the other. Back to author portraits, though, because I really do want to make this point. For a very long time, in the late 80s and early 90s, especially if you had a white dude as your author, you tried to get the most full-body author photo as possible. It wasn't until the mid-90s that things really transitioned to the typical Hollywood headshot, which you can see, by the way, at the bottom of my screen, because I'm working on incorporating me into my stuff. It's still weird. We're working on it. I'm not powering through as many anti-anxiety meds to do it, but hey, look, that's what I look like, you guys. But the author photo used to be this sort of big, tremendous, like, those tableaus in Family Feud? I might be really dating myself right now, where everybody's posed for a few seconds and then they, the song kicks in and they get moving. It was real posed and real staged. That used to be the standard for author photos. You'd get somebody kind of hunched over a typewriter, smoking on a pipe, sometimes both. You'd get somebody looking disaffected and very French with like a shitty cigarette. You'd get somebody looking out a window, sort of marveling at a globe, like alas, poor Yorick, here's my, globe or whatever. So there was this very staged nature to author photos. And they did want you to wear pants. Now, to be fair, a lot of those old white dudes in those photos, I would prefer them, keep their pants on. Please. That's just me, though. You do you. If you're down for, wrinkly old prunes, hey, man, you whatever makes you happy. Whatever you want. Me, however, I leave pants to the old folks and pants to to not in terms of story development, because I think plotting out your story is, I think, honestly, it's the sign that you're going to take it seriously, that you're going to actually try, because you're committing your ideas to the page, even if you're going to change them a million times later, even if you're going to come up with a lot of different stuff, even if it's, going to go in a totally different direction, because as you sit down to the screen or the monitor or the keyboard or the pen or whatever you write with, all of a sudden that's going to change. That's fine. But you've at least made a serious commitment to go forward and organize your ideas rather than just kind of vomit them out and let someone else have to deal with it later, even if that someone else, is you. But you should really be nicer to your future self. So let's learn how to organize things, right? Let's learn how to set stories up in a way that really work. I'd also like to point out that I want to see if I can make this work. I'm going to drop a link in chat, because if you want, that's the link to the PDF. That's going to contain all the stuff we're talking about tonight, plus a few extra things. So look, a handout. It's also going to be available on the Discord. It might already be. I think I posted this link earlier today. But and I will make sure to put it also in the YouTube doohickey, the description. That's the word I was looking for when I go back and edit that. So yes, enjoy a free handout, you guys. But the function overall tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to set things up, and we're going to talk about 3 different styles to outline that are not the big giant Roman numeral capital letter, because I think that's the thing, that's the boogeyman that everyone kind of runs from and hides. You're very welcome. That I don't want you using, I really don't want you using Roman numeral capital letter subdivisions like that. You can, you're free to do whatever. It's a, free universe for now. But I don't want you beheld to it. If it works for you, great. But I've got some other methods that you might find. I'm very glad you're pro outline. I am also pro outline. I am pro quite a few things, including not having pants. But I want to introduce you to 3 different models for mapping out structures that you might find more beneficial and more cohesive for your writing style, that don't involve giant Roman numerals and big capital letters and lowercase i's and subdivisions like that. I want you, instead of thinking about some hierarchical staircase, DNA double helix kind of thing, we're going to think about things in different ways. But we're going to start with basically the 3 fundamental rules of outlining. You're not going to really get anywhere without accepting these 3 rules. They're pretty simple. 1, anything you write down, anything that you write down that helps you organize your story counts as an outline. You make a bullet point, you make a bullet list, you make a numbered list, you make you take a legal pad and you just go to town scribbling everything in the margins. You make a spreadsheet, you make just a random word map, a visual picture, a Pinterest board, 3D paper mache thing like we're at the science fair in elementary school. Anything you create that helps you organize your idea, a mind map, that too. Anything you create that helps you organize your idea so that it isn't just, oh my God, thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate it. It's great to have you here. Anything that helps you organize your story counts as an outline. Counts as an outline. And I'm telling you this both in terms of hey, this is John telling you, but now I will also get all up here on the microphone and tell you in my most professional voice that anything that helps you organize your story will satisfy the conditions for a publisher or an agent or an editor. Oh, thank you so much for, a Prime subscription. Thank you. I really appreciate you using your free Prime. Shout out to Prime, because the Overlord controls all. But thanks for subscribing. Makes me happy. So back to the professional voice. agents and editors and publishers who are looking for outlines really just want you to be sure and want, some kind of reassurance on their end that your story is organized and complete. It sets expectations. So anything that helps you organize your story counts as an outline. There is no one way your outline should look. If it works for you, it works for you. Do that. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, related to rule number 1, there is no such thing. There's never going to be such a thing. There will never be in the future. There has not been in the past and you missed it. There will never be a thing such as a perfect outline. There is no one unifying field theory for outlines. There is no one perfect outline that works for every book you write. Some strategies work well for lots of books, but sometimes, some ways, for some people, some things, you got to branch out. You got to move in some different ways because some stories require other tools. So there is no one perfect outline. Loads of things can help, but loads of things that help also have certain limitations. Like if you want to step out of your genre, then you're going to need to use some different things than if you stayed in your genre. Or if you're going to expand to a different number of points of view, or you want to shift tense, or you want to create some complications in your story structure, you might have to avail yourself of more material than way back when you were just doing straightforward first person past tense or something. Every story, I'll get way up on the microphone, every story presents the opportunity to use more and different tools from the toolbox to help you get it out of your head and onto the page. There is no one perfect outline. If it works for you, do it. You don't have to compare to other people. You don't have to go, well, how come theirs looks different? Because theirs looks different. It just does. It's all right. Really, truly, it's all right. One of the things that occasionally makes the rounds in the hashtag writing community is this article or this set of articles about like how famous people have like outlined or organized their first book or their famous, groundbreaking novel or whatever. And a lot of writers get real like sensitive about it. Oh my God, look how this transphobe made their magic story series. Yours doesn't have to do that. At all. It just doesn't have to. No one wants that. If you copy somebody else's style, there is no guarantee you will copy with it their result. I modeled myself after some very successful screenwriters, and look where we are now. So no, that's not how that works. Everybody writes different. There is no one perfect. You don't have to make it perfect. You just have to use something.